person who has done a lot of work for us to be here today, and that is Ashley Massey. Ashley is the Executive Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent and the School Board, and she has done a great job today. Changed plans last minute, moved us from outside to inside, and has really done a spectacular job today. I'd like to introduce from the Minnesota Department of Education, the Deputy Commissioner of Education, Stephanie Barrage.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am excited to be here today because this is just an awesome occasion. So, as she shared, my name is Dr. Stephanie Barrage. I'm the Deputy Commissioner for the State Department of Minnesota. And I'm so excited, as I said, to be here today because this is an awesome honor for an awesome man, Dr. Michael Funk. In Minnesota, we are fortunate to have many talented and passionate leaders, which makes this honor of Superintendent of the Year award even more special. To be chosen, you must truly stand out in the crowd, supporting students, families, educators, and school staff above everything else. This is clearly, just as we've heard today, where Dr. Funk shines. His leadership and commitment to ensuring every student has the opportunity to succeed has been the foundation to achieving significant gains here in the graduation rates during his tenure. That's a big deal, especially in groups that have historically been left behind. By leading with a student-centered approach, Albert Lea Area Schools has been able to develop systems that reduced barriers, provided additional supports for students, and to improve the quality of professional development for staff. Additionally, with his guidance and support, the school district has been able to adapt and innovate to meet the challenges of our times. And let's be honest, in the last 2 to 3 years, we've had some challenges. At the Minnesota Department of Education, we share Dr. Funk's commitment to ensuring all educators have the skills and support that they need to ensure that each and every student has a high-quality education. In partnership with Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, we announced the Due North Plan. This plan focused on meeting the needs of all of our students across the state, including right here in Albert Lea. Through this plan, we're supporting our students in learning recovery as we move out of the pandemic, ensuring we are recruiting and retaining the top teacher talents in our state and expanding access to opportunities to all students regardless of your zip code. We look forward to continuing our partnership with Dr. Funk and the entire staff at Albert Lea Area Schools in this important work. As a former superintendent myself, I understand and relate to the unique demands of the job, balancing all of the wants and needs of your students, your family, educators, and staff. It is no small task, and it's also incredibly rewarding. From seeing and feeling the excitement at the beginning of the school year to the feeling of pride and accomplishment at the end of the school year, schools are an incredible place to be. And we know that one person cannot do this alone. So I want to take a moment and thank and congratulate the educators, administrators, and staff who support Dr. Funk and his work for your students, family, and community. Together, you have shown that the future is bright for our students and our schools. On behalf of the Minnesota Department of Education and the state of Minnesota, Commissioner Mueller and myself, I want to give you one final thank you to Dr. Funk for all that you do, and congratulations on this tremendous honor. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Deputy Commissioner. We'd now like to welcome to the microphone Dr. Deb Henton, MASA Executive Director, and Eric Anderson, ATS&R Partner and Architect.
Thank you, Kathy. As noted, I'm Deb Henton. I am the Executive Director of the Minnesota Association of School Administrators, which is a lot of words. So what is that organization, right? If you're not in education, you would not be aware that all the superintendents in the state belong to the association that I'm fortunate enough to be the Executive Director for. And not only superintendents, but also special education directors, curriculum directors, assistant superintendents, some college professors, and even more. So the organization that selected Mike is quite diverse, actually. He stands as our representative as Superintendent of the Year, but all of our members are so thrilled to have him represent our organization. And we could not do that without the support of ATS&R. Some people wonder, is this election popularity contest with that gregarious personality you have, Mike? I don't think that's what Kathy said, but that's close. Anyways, it's not a popularity contest. We do receive nominations from a number of individuals who think their superintendent is deserving of the honor. The application process is extensive. Mike probably did the thing on his hip because he knew he was going to have to submit pages and pages of information about what he's done in Albert Lea, what your community is like, what the students are like, and above all, are the students achieving at high levels, because that is what we want to see in our Superintendent of the Year's leadership. So he had his work cut out for him. He also, I think, made a video, and he was a part of the national selection process of the superintendents, all the superintendents of the year in the United States. He stood as one of the individuals that might have been selected for that honor. So we are so proud of him for putting forth the application. Sometimes if somebody submits an application once, they won't go through it again, so maybe that's why you had the hand on the hip again, because you had to go through all that work, because you just can't cut, paste, and apply again. The people that select the superintendent of the year are not from my association, so we don't play any favorites. We want to make sure that it's outside individuals that read those applications. So the executive directors of the Minnesota School Boards Association, the Minnesota Business Officials, the Minnesota Association of Special Education Administrators, Education Minnesota, who is the executive director for the Teachers Union of Minnesota. There's about 6 individuals that look over all those applications, and they're the ones that select the superintendent of the year, again, to ensure impartiality on the part of our organization. So we are so pleased with Dr. Funk's his award this year, and I want to say, I know he's been here 13 years, but guess what? I'm a pony. He's coming to mine this way. I'm so happy to welcome this lovely family. I've lived in Stillwater for 37 years, and so I'm very familiar with where he is moving to, and we could not be more excited. And as the mom of 2 ponies, I'm really pleased that you're going to carry on a great legacy in Stillwater area public schools. So thank you again, and I would like to introduce Eric Anderson. And again, ATS&R is responsible for this wonderful award. Our organization, MASA, has a $1,000 check to give Mike, and then Eric is going to speak a little bit, and he has another award.
Thank you very much. Yes, my name is Eric Anderson. I am an architect and partner at ATS&R. We've had the great privilege of sponsoring this award for many years now, and the thrill of being here and recognizing the leadership is just such a privilege. We are at ATS&R a great group of dedicated professionals who are committed to make the most effective design solutions for educational facilities. So Dr. Funk, thank you for both your wonderful passion for education, your strong support for all learners. It's so wonderful to acknowledge this great leadership in our schools. So on behalf of ATS&R and MSBA, I am privileged to present the hardware. The 2022 MASA Superintendent of the Year for 2022, Dr.
I think I'm good. Here, Deb, I got my Kleenex right here. So, first of all, I just want to I thank everybody for showing up today. Thank you, ATS&R, for sponsoring this award. Thank you, MASA, for, I guess, putting the award together and making me go through the torture of trying to do it not once but twice. And thank you to Kathy and Mary Jo for submitting me for it. And a few others did this past year as well. First of all, let's give Ashley a round of applause. Ashley Massimo. So Ashley has worked for me for a number of years now, and I'm fairly decisive. So as I got back from lunch this afternoon, Ashley was walking out the door. I said, "Where are you going?" She said, "I'm going to go with the hammer and make sure things are okay." I said, "Come in my office and sit down." I said, "Kathy, come in, we're going to make a decision." And I knew my father was going to be here, and my mother, and a lot of my family members have traveled far, and I wasn't going to put them in 90-degree heat, listen to some hot air from me for the afternoon. So there's enough hot air right now, so we moved indoors here. So this is where we're at today. So thanks for setting up two places, actually. It looks great in here today. Today I'm not going to give a lot of remarks like I did. I had to speak a number of different times since being named Superintendent of the Year. And really my intent today is just to thank people. And the reason I think that I'm Superintendent of the Year, and the reason that Albert Lea is such a great place, is because of the people in this room. And really everybody in this room has influenced me in some manner or another. And it's been your influence that has gotten me to where I am today. So the first thing I'd like to do today is introduce my family. And I'd have to ask my mom or my dad here, I don't know when the last time our entire family was together, but I can't remember. But we are today. So we'll start with our closest and then furthest. So the closest, they live a couple miles away, is my lovely wife Ann, my daughter Alex, and then I've got my daughter Katie and my daughter Maddie, who live in the Twin Cities. Katie's now a senior in McAllister, and Maddie just graduated from about a year and a half ago, and works at the University of Minnesota in the Twin Cities. So thanks for coming, guys. Then I've got my mom and dad up here in the front. Raise your hands, folks. They came over from Rochester today, and this is the first time they got to see me speak at one of these Superintendent of the Year things, so really good to have them here today. I've got my brother Tom from Indiana. I've got my cousin Jimmy from Rochester. My Uncle Steve lives in Brooklyn Heights, New York, so he flew out from New York City to be here today. I've got my brother Tim here with his family. Wendy, his wife Wendy is here, and Isaac from Iowa. They drove up from Cedar Falls. I've got my sister Peggy, who I talked to her about 2.5 hours ago. She said my plane was just landing. I'll be there a little before 4, so she flew up from Florida today. My nephew Daniel and his wife Meredith and Quinn over there. And then this table over here, I got my brother Dave, who came from Los Alamos, New Mexico. My sister Susie and her husband Bill, who came down from Minnetonka. And I think Tom? Where's Tom? Like, oh,
We already did Tom.
yeah, you do Tom, okay, all right. So anyhow, so that's my family. It's the first time we've all been together in 8 years, so it's great that we come together for this event. Couple things before I get into thanking other folks. I just want to mention I got some nice awards up here, and I want to have to bring everyone's attention to. I just got this one today. It says #1 superintendent. It's probably the top award I got. My wife gave it to me. So the other one that I'm going to put on, part of being a successful superintendent is really collaboration. All right, you collaborate with all the groups throughout the district, and coming in as a young superintendent and then leaving as not so young superintendent, you learn a lot of lessons along the way, and one of them is how important all groups, all units within the district are. And so today, I've got Al Hilgerson, the teacher union leader, and Janice Jeffrey, the vice president of the teachers union. They are here today, and they brought me something. And so they said, you take your coat off. So I'm going to take my coat off, and I'm going to put it on. I don't know what it is. It's a nice gift wrap bag here. So we'll put this on, and then we'll go from there. So Al, did you want to help me put it on, or? Oh, it's red. But it's not pony.
There you go.
There we go. We did end up settling our contract with our teachers about 3 weeks ago. So now I can proudly wear the ALEA teacher gear that the union just gave me. So, we've made it the big time when the teachers give you one of their pieces of clothing to wear. So I really appreciate that. So now I just took my coat off and I took my notes on what I was going to say and then I have my coat over here. But I'll just wait here. All right, so really to be successful as a superintendent, you need a lot of different folks. And I talked about my family. And Kathy, you just did an amazing job up here, so thank you for that. I learned so much from my family, and I think that's a lot of the values that have come to be who I am as a superintendent, as a person. But it's not just family. It's also educators and professionals who you work with on a daily basis. And whether they're teachers, whether they're administrators, it's the concept of continuous improvement, always learning that we bring to it when we're working with each other. So thanks for the support of the union, and thanks for the support of all of our administrators here in the district over time. Life has certainly not been easy these past few years, but working together as a team, we've been able to accomplish a lot of things. Also want to recognize some of my colleagues here from the Big Nine. We've got some David Krenzis here from Austin, Paul Peterson's here from Mankato. Thank you for coming today, fellow superintendents. We are really, we lean a lot on each other during these challenging times, and I really appreciate seeing you here today. School board members. We've got some former board members. Mike Schrody's here, our current board. I also have Woody Linedecker. Woody, raise your hand there. Woody was our board chair in Olympia, Minnesota back in 2005 when I started out being the superintendent. And so great Woody for Woody to show up. And Woody, his kids were ponies. Woody now lives in Stillwater, so there's another connection there. So again, I just think that getting to know people, understanding perspective, learning where they come from, really makes you much more well-rounded as a leader and as an educator, and that has really, I think, paid off for me as superintendent. The last group I'd really like to mention is our community. We've got some representatives from the community here, from the city. Appreciate that. We've got some people from Kiwanis here. We've got some folks that I go have breakfast with at Hy-Vee on, once or twice, actually more than that, probably 4 or 5 times a year, just to get a kind of community pulse. And I think one of the things that really sets the town of Albert Lea apart from a lot of other places is the amount of collaborations between organizations that we have in this town. Whether it's the Chamber of Commerce, whether it's Kiwanis, the United Way, people always working together to try and improve our community and make it better one day at a time. But that's what it's really all about. It's about the people and working together to provide a better education for our kids in the school system and in the wider community. So those are my remarks today. Look, I made it, no Kleenex necessary. They're all good. And just once again, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. It's you folks who've made a difference in my life, and therefore I can make a difference in other people's lives. So thank you very much.
There's plenty of food up here.